Hi guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. We're going to do a short update on Matterport today. We'll talk about two topics. Number one, they discussed Matterport on CNBC halftime report today. Josh Brown is an investor in the company and likes to pump this company up, I think, whenever he can, which is certainly reasonable since I think it's a good company to pump up. That certainly had its effect on the stock price today. Let's just listen to that conversation and see what happened.
Take a check on Matterport. It is up by more than 8% today. WEBULL out with a note today saying that it is in their top 5 candidates for M&A targets in 2022, either by a financial or a strategic buyer, along with 4 others. Josh, you own this one. You think you keep going? Is it a target in your view?
I don't. All right. So let me just say, I don't know anything. I could only make guesses along with other people. But if there's a large company that's like extremely involved in the metaverse, it would strike me that this company's assets and abilities would be perfect. So from my perspective, that could be like any of the video game software creators. It could be Meta. It could be Google, that if they want spatial data as part of all of the data that they warehouse. So that, of course, could happen. I don't expect it. That's not why I own the stock. It's a small market cap, Melissa. So at $5.6 billion, it makes these outrageous moves up and down on any given day. And you just have to kind of take that volatility that comes along with it. But 2 weeks ago, they announced an Amazon Web Services deal that I think might be the most important thing they'll announce all year. And it got a lot of attention that day. And then the market, the high beta names fell apart, and this got killed with them. But I don't think that should have been the case. So I'm sticking to my guns in Matterport. I'm an investor, not a trader. And I'm really excited for some new announcements that should be coming throughout the course of 22.
All right. Now it's up 11%.
All right. Just a couple of important points out of that discussion. Number one, is Matterport a potential target for merger and acquisition? I think certainly it is. At a market cap of $5.7 billion, this is definitely a small cap company which is ripe for takeover by one of these mega cap companies. Is that going to happen? Who knows? Only time will tell. There are always surprises, but certainly Matterport in the meantime is well on its way to massive growth. Number two, the discussion about Matterport and AWS. Now, I made a video about that when the announcement came out, but I still believe that this is going to be a significant revenue driver for them, and thus I think in the first quarter earnings report, we're going to see that Matterport's revenue has gone up significantly. The exposure that they're going to get on AWS with that digital twin website, if you haven't seen that yet, I'd encourage you to go back and look at the video that I made about it. AWS is committing significant resources to making digital twins. They have a number of partners there, and Matterport is going to be one of the important ones driving that forward. All right, let's get to my second topic. We can see that Matterport is up almost 11% today. Obviously, right after Josh Brown spoke, it went up about 3% from where it was. I think a lot of people feel bad that they didn't hit that Matterport low recently. I want to talk about what's coming up in less than a month and how that will even more significantly impact the number of shares available for Matterport. All right, I have before you 2 screenshots taken out of the Securities and Exchange Commission filing that Matterport/Gores made. This is from their 8K, and specifically we're going to talk about the earnout shares. Just think of these as lockup shares which are going to become available. Now, what are the triggering criteria? Well, the first thing to know is that it is 6 months after the closing date of the merger, so that's why January 18th is the date. The first triggering event we call Event 1 in this paperwork. That's at $13. How many shares will become available? 3,910,000. In fact, with each tranche of these triggering events, we will see 3,910,000 shares. I won't take you through all of this, but essentially if we get to triggering event 5, $23, at least today, we're expecting the closing price will be above $23. If the closing price on January 18th is above $23, all of these tranches 1 through 5 triggering events will happen with 3,910,000 shares each. If by chance the Matterport stock price gets back to above $25.50, that last tranche will also happen. So we're looking at about 24 million shares almost of new stock becoming available. Now, why is this important? Well, with the Matterport warrants, at least Matterport stands to get some capital from the warrants that are exercised at $11.50. With these shares, there is no additional capital being created, just stock dilution. So I expect to see on January 18th at least tranches 1 through 4 of the earnout shares coming online and becoming tradable with significant dilution in the number of shares. So essentially, take no fear. I think you're still going to be able to get Matterport stock at a reasonable price. In my opinion, also, the bad news for everyone who purchased at $37 a share is it's going to take just a little bit to get back to that $37 per share price range. Nevertheless, I think it will get back there, especially after those first quarter earnings come in. Now, keep in mind, this is just my opinion. I am not your financial advisor, but this is what I have to think about Matterport, and this is the way I'm basing my future purchases of Matterport stock. Now, in the end, whether you get it for $23 or $20 or $18, I think is not going to make a whole lot of difference unless you are buying thousands of shares, because I think 5 years from now, anyone who purchased this is going to be very happy with their purchase should they hold it that long. I like what Josh Brown said, where he said, "I am an investor, not a trader," on Matterport. I agree with that stance. So that's going to do it for Matterport today. We saw the Josh Brown effect, the additional 3% increase in Matterport stock just while he was speaking. We now have a rumor of potential Matterport acquisition target by the bigger companies. And you all are up to date on the earnout shares and what to expect in the Matterport stock in the next month. We'll talk about that more as it gets closer. Don't forget to share this information with a young person in your life. Make investing a family affair. And as always, until next time, enjoy your investing.